On First at 9 this Wednesday, the 2nd of April 2025. Override. Court of Appeals orders re-acceptance of local government polls nominations rejected over birth certificate issues. Counter-action. Ministerial committee appointed to review UK sanctions against Sri Lankan military commanders. Cabinet spokesperson confirms. Sentenced. Ex-Chief Minister S.M. Ranjit and aide sentenced to 16 years rigorous imprisonment for corruption.
Chilo Dairy, Sri Lankawama, Kiren Perata. Obe Vishwasi Dino Sensorain, then Langamati Pharmacy in Labagata Hacker.
Kanta Parisang Karagatot? Api Parisang.
ඉතින් මොකටද නිකන් නාගන්නේ? ස්වදේශී කොහොඹ lemongrass අද කාලෙට ෆ්‍රෙෂ්ම විසඳුම.
This is Derana First at 9, live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to First at 9, brought to you by the nation's most trusted news source, Derana. I'm Tharindu Mahendra, joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. Now, in our top story this evening, the Court of Appeals today ordered nominations for the local government elections that were rejected due to them being submitted with original birth certificates of the nominees to be re-accepted. The court also ordered the Attorney General to present facts regarding the possibility of re-accepting nominations that were rejected over other deficiencies as well. Around 30 petitions were filed with the Court of Appeal by several parties, including the Sarvajana Balaya, challenging the rejection of nominations for the local government elections in several local authorities, including the Colombo Municipal Councils. When the petitions were taken for consideration today before a two-member bench comprising Acting President of the Court of Appeal Justice Mohammad Lafat Tahir and Justice K.P. Fernando, the court ordered that rejected nominations that were submitted with original birth certificates of the nominees be re-accepted. This was following an agreement reached before the court between the petitioners and the Election Commission and returning officers. Additionally, the court ordered election-related activities of local authorities where legal proceedings are ongoing against the rejection of nominations over other reasons to be suspended until tomorrow. The court also ordered the Attorney General to consult the respondents regarding the possibility of re-accepting such rejected nominations and present facts in that regard to the court tomorrow. Meanwhile, the Samagi Joint Trade Union Alliance lodged a complaint with the Election Commission today, alleging that despite informing the Commission on several occasions regarding violation of election laws committed by the ruling party, the National People's Power, appropriate action is yet to be taken.
This is the fourth time that we came here. Transfers have been made in Ceylon Petroleum Storage Terminals Limited, contrary to the circular issued by the Election Commission. NPP MP Chandana Suryarachi on the 24th told the employees of this company to vote for the NPP in the local government elections. A deputy commissioner informed me on the 27th that the activities I reported were illegal and directed me to go to the courts. The Election Commission was appointed to stop employees being intimidated into voting a certain way, not to live in luxury with public funds.
In the meantime, the Department of Government Printing said that all postal ballot papers for the local government elections are expected to be printed and handed over to the Election Commission by the 5th of April.
We
have received an order from the Election Commission to print 18 million ballot papers. 3 million have been printed as of now. All postal ballot papers of 109 local authorities have been printed. All ballot papers of 4 districts have been printed and handed over to the Election Commission. We plan to print all postal ballot papers and hand them over to the Election Commission by the 5th of April.
The Election Commission will hand over postal ballot papers to the Postal Department on the 7th of April. Official poll cards will be received on April 16th. They will be distributed to residences until April 29th. Sunday, the 20th of April has been designated as a special day for distributing poll cards. If needed, we are ready to use Sunday the 27th of April as well. All postal officials' leave has been cancelled starting April 7th. Cabinet spokesperson Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says that during Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Sri Lanka, several bilateral agreements are to be signed in areas such as energy, health, the digital economy and security. During today's cabinet briefing, the cabinet spokesperson also mentioned that several energy projects and a railway in Anuradhapura will be inaugurated by the Indian Prime Minister.
ඉන්දියාවේ ගමැතිතුමා එනවා ලංකාවට මොනවද අත්සන් කරන ගිවිසුම් ටික
ඉන්දියානු අගමැති නරේන්ද්‍ර මෝදි මැතිතුමාගේ
The Indian Prime Minister is scheduled to arrive in Sri Lanka on April 4th. A formal welcoming ceremony will be held on April 5th at Independence Square, followed by bilateral discussions between the Sri Lankan President and the Indian Prime Minister. A media briefing will be held afterwards to provide details on the discussions. Additionally, they will join the inauguration of the Sampur solar power plant, the distribution of solar panels to several religious institutions and the opening of the Dambulla cold storage facility from Colombo. On April 6th, Prime Minister Modi will visit the Sri Mahabodhi in Anuradhapura, where he will inaugurate the newly constructed railway signal system and railway tracks. During his visit, several bilateral agreements in key areas such as energy, health, the digital economy and security are expected to be signed.
යුසුම් කිහිපයකට එළඹෙන්නට රජය අදහස් කරනවා.
ශ්‍රී ලංකීය පුරවැසියන් 4 දෙනෙකුට සම්බාධක පණ උපක ගැන ඒ කොමිටියෙන් මොකද්ද කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ? මොකද මේකේ තියෙන්නේ ඉදිරි පියවර කියලා. මොකක්ද ඒ අය සම්බන්ධයෙන් රජයට ගන්න පුළුවන් පියවර?
අපි කිව්වා මේක
The UK government has taken this action unilaterally. In response, we have appointed a committee comprising 2 ministers and a deputy minister to evaluate potential actions the Sri Lankan government can take.
පත් කළේ.
ඒකට ඒක සීමා වෙන්නේ මේ 4 දෙනාටද නැත්නම් මීට කලින් මේ විදිහම සම්බාධක වලට ලක් වෙච්ච උදවියත් ඉන්නතර ඒ අය සම්බන්ධිනුත් මේක පුළුල්ලද නැත්නම්
මේක තිබෙන්නේ මේ හමුදා ප්‍රධාන
The committee will assess the cases of the 3 former armed forces commanders and Karuna Amman. A thorough analysis will be conducted to determine whether these sanctions are related to wartime activities, post-war incidents or other factors. A report will be submitted to the cabinet based on these findings.
සම්බන්ධයෙන් සියල්ල ඉදිරිපත් කරයි.
Minister Anand Vijaypala told that extremists increase in the eastern province. But so far not a single arrest under the PTO or whatever act. But you are arresting the youth who pays the sticker for Palestine. So it's a contradiction.
යම් අන්තවාදයේ වපුරන ප්‍රචණ්ඩත්වයට
The government has received intelligence on several individuals engaged in extremist activities with violent tendencies. However, we do not believe these individuals are confined to specific locations. Investigations are ongoing to identify their networks. We are taking all necessary measures to prevent any incidents. There should be no concern that despite having intelligence, no action will be taken. Every piece of information will be thoroughly investigated. If individuals are found innocent, they will be released. Otherwise, further investigations will be conducted to dismantle their networks.
ජාලය පිළිබඳ විමර්ශනය කරනවා.
The cabinet spokesperson also commented on recent health sector recruitments.
වෛද්‍ය කර්මය සඳහා වූ පරිපූර්ණ
Supplementary health service officers have been recruited under various categories, including medical laboratory technicians, radiologists, physical therapists, speech therapists, and audiology technicians. No recruitments were made for these positions in the past 5 years. Recognizing the need, we initiated the hiring process and recruited 23 audiology technicians for 26 available vacancies. They are currently undergoing 6 months of training. 118 radiologists were recruited for 399 vacancies. All these recruitments were done by February 22nd. Meanwhile, 354 applicants have applied for 294 medical laboratory technician vacancies. 277 applicants have applied for 203 physical therapist vacancies and 168 applicants have applied for 57 speech therapist vacancies. The only feasible way to fill these vacancies is through an examination, as they cannot be allocated solely based on the merit list. Professionals from the 2014 to 2018 advanced level batches need to be considered for these positions.
18 කියන උසස් පෙළ වසර 4ෙම අය ඉන්නවා.
පිරිපුන් ජීවිතයකට ඔබ සමගින් පෙරට Union Assurance
චන්දුරුසුමේ කාගෙන් බලා අපේ සිංහ TV සඳහා සුපිරි ඩීල්.
Former President Ranil Wickremesinghe says government should not politicize the decision to halt the renewable energy projects by India's Adani Group on the eve of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Sri Lanka. The former president emphasized that government should work to strengthen Indo-Lanka ties and not weaken them.
විශ්ව
During the 2023-24 period, the then government greenlit several proposals because we needed energy and because we needed foreign investment to initiate energy projects. Initially, we established a project committee within the Ministry of Finance to examine the development projects. Subsequently, the cabinet-appointed negotiation committee was also established to implement decisions on these development projects with the approval of the Cabinet of Ministers. Final prices were decided based on reports compiled by these committees. The 50-megawatt project of Hailes and the projects of India's Adani differ significantly for a number of reasons. We ensured all decisions were made through official channels. If necessary, the current administration may consult the pertinent documents. There have been accusations that we initiated this project to embezzle money. If so, Adani should have given us money. Has Adani violated the laws of either Sri Lanka or India? Such issues should not be politicized on the eve of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Sri Lanka, as these allegations could harm diplomatic ties. However, any decision to halt projects must be backed by valid reasons. We should focus on completing these projects and strengthening Indo-Lanka relations in line with the joint statements issued in 2023 and 24. We should not insinuate these issues when Prime Minister Modi is scheduled to visit the country. However, if required, I will further elaborate on the matter in due course. Now, ahead of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Sri Lanka, the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly today unanimously adopted a resolution urging India's union government to take steps to retrieve the island of Kachativ from Sri Lanka. Introducing the resolution, Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu M.K. Stalin stated that the continued attacks on Indian fishermen by the Sri Lankan Navy have become an unending tragedy despite there being a political change in Sri Lanka. He further stated that the viable and permanent solution to protect the traditional fishing rights of Tamil Nadu fishermen is the retrieval of the island. The resolution urged the union government to immediately review the Indo-Sri Lankan Agreement of 1974 and take steps to retrieve Kachativ Island. The resolution also urged the Indian Prime Minister during his official visit to Sri Lanka to hold talks with the Sri Lankan government for the release of the imprisoned Indian fishermen along with their boats on a goodwill basis. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa claims that the Colombo Municipal Council, led by the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, will pioneer a sustainable solution to Colombo's persistent housing issue. He made this assertion at the official launch of the SJB's policy statement released in view of the impending Colombo Municipal Council election.
As the race for the Colombo Municipal Council heats up, the Samagi Jana Balawegaya officially released its policy statement for the crucial election in Maligawata today. The event was held under the patronage of party leader and leader of the opposition, Sajith Premadasa. We are not puppet politicians who act according to the whims and fancies of certain organizations. We have a series of policies that can be relied upon. We are ready for a change that prioritizes the common man. Our municipal councils are not restricted by a certain framework. We will ensure that these municipal councils serve the public by surpassing traditional boundaries. We intend to provide services to the public efficiently by empowering the city with the latest technologies and artificial intelligence. We will take measures to encourage entrepreneurship in Colombo. We will develop Colombo as a city empowered with the latest technologies. The Municipal Council, led by the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, will become the first ever institution in recent times to implement the Greenhouse Initiative that will provide a sustainable solution to the housing issues.
Fast track your career from O levels with eSoft.
ඩයිබටසෝල් සීනිවලින් පරිස්සම්වන ඔබට අමතක නොවන පෝෂණය.
කැලනි වයර් කිසිගින්නක් නෑ.
කිසිගින්නක් නෑ. කැලනි ෆයර් ෂීල්ඩ් වයර්.
Meanwhile, leader of the Sarva Jana Balaya parliamentarian Dilith Joyveera claims that the Sarva Jana Balaya stands firm on its policies which are all geared towards proliferating entrepreneurship in rural Sri Lanka. He expressed this view at a special Sarva Jana Balaya awareness program organised in view of the impending local government elections.
The Gold District edition of the island-wide series of awareness programs organised by the Sarvajana Balaya on behalf of its local government election candidates was held today under the patronage of party leader parliamentarian Dilip Jayawira. We have embraced politics along with love and humanity towards the people. We refuse to engage in politics centered around hatred and envy. From time to time, people make certain allegations against us on social media. But we are not concerned by those accusations since we are on this journey together. We are the Sarvajana Balaya. We have a strategy. We contest the upcoming local government elections with consistent policies. They include the establishment of Sarvajana Sabha and proliferating entrepreneurship in rural Sri Lanka.
The proposal to appoint a committee to remove Inspector General of Police Deshabandhu Tennakon from the position is to be submitted to Parliament on the 8th of April. This was decided at the party leaders' meeting today. On the 25th of March, a group of parliamentarians of the ruling party, the National People's Power, submitted to the Speaker of Parliament a proposal to remove suspended Inspector General of Police Deshabandhu Tennakon from the position. During a party leaders' meeting today, future steps regarding the resolution were discussed.
On the 8th of April, Parliament will debate confiscating properties acquired through criminal activity and the proceeds of crime bill. On the same day, a proposal will be submitted to appoint a committee to remove Deshabandhu Tennakon from the rank of Inspector General of Police. The debate on the Batlanda Commission report is scheduled for the 10th of this month. On the 9th, the new tax amendments will be debated. Discussions primarily focused on presenting to Parliament the proposal to remove the Inspector General of Police from the position. We have no issue with that. However, since it is the Speaker of Parliament who is vested with the power to submit the proposal to Parliament, we requested that it be presented by him. Yes, Parliament must step in and address the issue. The opposition leader made a statement regarding the unlawful appointment of the IGP. The Samaga Jana Balawege has also filed a fundamental rights petition against him. A legal matter pending before the courts cannot be debated in Parliament as it could influence the judiciary. However, the Speaker can take a decision in this regard. If the Speaker is so inclined, he can appoint the relevant committee even without the resolution being debated. The governing party decided to present the proposal to Parliament. Former Chief Minister of the North Central Province SM Ranjit and his personal secretary were sentenced to 16 years of rigorous imprisonment each after being convicted of corruption charges. This was in relation to the misappropriation of over 16,000 litres of fuel worth 2.6 million rupees. The Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption had filed the case before the Colombo High Court in relation to the illegal receipt of 16,784 litres of fuel worth 2.6 million rupees in excess of the fuel allowance granted to the personal secretary of SM Ranjit, the Chief Minister of the North Central Province from 2012 to 2014. Accordingly, SM Ranjit and his personal secretary Shanti Chandrasena were indicted over the charge of corruption under the Bribery Act. Delivering the verdict on the legal matter today, Colombo High Court Judge Aditya Patabandige convicted the defendants of 2 of the 6 charges against them. Prior to sentencing, the counsel for the Bribery Commission, who highlighted that the value of the public funds misappropriated by the former Chief Minister in 2012 was over 2.6 million rupees and that the current value of those funds is even higher, requested the court to punish the convicts appropriately considering the seriousness of the charges. However, the counsel for the defendants claimed that his clients had cooperated to ensure the swift conclusion of the proceedings and requested the court for a lenient punishment. Announcing the sentence, the Colombo High Court judge, who highlighted that the convicts were an elected public representative and a government official, stated that such individuals cannot be shown leniency and stated that they will be given the maximum sentence permitted by the law. Accordingly, the 2 convicts were sentenced to 16 years of rigorous imprisonment each and a 200,000 rupee fine was imposed on each of them. The judge added that failure to pay the fines will result in an additional 2 years of rigorous imprisonment each. However, the judge also informed the court that the convicts can lodge an appeal against the verdict.
Cabinet spokesperson Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says Sri Lanka will provide $1 million of financial assistance to the Burmese people affected by the recent earthquake. Meanwhile, the sacred temple of the Tooth Relic, together with the Malvatu and Askiri Mahavihara, are also set to make a 1.5 million rupee donation to assist the people of Myanmar. This comes as foreign media reports that the death toll from the earthquake in Myanmar alone will surpass 3,000.
Following the strongest quake to hit Myanmar in more than a century, an urgent need has arisen for shelter, food and water. The earthquake killed more than 2,800 people while injuring another 4,600 people and hundreds still missing. According to foreign media, the death toll is expected to keep rising as rescuers gain access to more collapsed buildings and cut-off districts. More than 10,000 buildings in central and northwestern Myanmar have reportedly been completely destroyed. Rescue operations have been hampered by poor communication services, fuel shortages and extreme weather. Against this backdrop, a number of countries have stepped forward to assist Myanmar. In Sri Lanka, a series of meritorious services seeking blessings for the people of Myanmar affected by the disaster was organized by the Sacred Temple of the Tooth Relic in Kandy today. A total of 1.5 million rupees have been jointly donated by the Sacred Temple of the Tooth Relic, the Askiri Mahavihara and the Malvatu Mahavihara for the welfare of the people of Myanmar. Additionally, the Shanti Foundation in Colombo has established a special fund to provide relief to the people of Myanmar. Donors can make deposits to the Shanti Foundation account at the Borala branch of the National Savings Bank under the number 1006107603007 or the account at the Borala branch of People's Bank under the number 078-100-1600-25207. Donations are being accepted until the 25th of April. For more information, the telephone numbers 0112 699 561, 0112 671 414, 0710 544 213 can be contacted. In the meantime, during the cabinet briefing today, Cabinet spokesperson Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa commented on the assistance provided to Myanmar by the Sri Lankan government.
මියන්මාරයේ ජනතාව පීඩාවට පත්වලා ඉන්න මොහොතේදී ශ්‍රී ලංකා රජය හැටියට
In the wake of the devastating earthquake, the government of Sri Lanka has pledged $1 million for Myanmar's earthquake recovery efforts. Dry rations are currently being collected under the guidance of Buddhist clergy and will likely be delivered right away to the Burmese. All the donations made by the citizens of Sri Lanka will be promptly provided to Myanmar. Additionally, the Health Ministry will dispatch medical equipment required to provide the needed medical care to the people who are suffering in the wake of the earthquake.
Welcome back. You're once again joining First at 9 on Other Derana 24. Now in your business news, Emirates announced that Colombo will be among the next 8 destinations to be served by the airline's Boeing 777 services with upgraded cabins. Colombo is set to receive the Boeing 777 with refreshed interiors from the 10th of August on its daily EK650 and EK651 flights. Emirates aims to serve 44 cities with its fleet of refurbished Boeing 777 and Airbus A380 aircraft by September this year. Now, the Colombo Stock Exchange closed in positive territory today as a result of price gains in counters such as Haley's, Ceylon Tobacco Company and Royal Ceramics. The all-share price index closed 0.46% higher at 16,007.44 points, while the S&P SL20 increased by 0.23% to close at 4,762.62 points. Market turnover was 2.2 billion rupees. The capital goods sector was the highest contributor to market turnover, followed by the food, beverage and tobacco sector as the second highest contributor. Foreign investors closed as net sellers, offloading shares worth 281 million rupees. And up next, we have Minal Vikramage from Capital Alliance with some thoughts on the current status of the economy in our next segment, Economic Outlook.
Financial sector remained relatively stable with the AWPLR for the week ending March 28, recording a marginal decline of 1 basis points to 8.43%. Broad money supply or M2B expanded by 10.2% year on year, while net credit to the government from the banking system declined by 46.2 billion, reflecting improved fiscal discipline. At the same time, outstanding credit to public corporations fell by 0.7 billion, whereas private sector credit grew by 105.4 billion LKR, registering a 12.8% year-on-year increase. The average weighted call money rate remained unchanged at 7.95%, while reserve money expanded, driven by an increase in currency circulation and higher deposits held by commercial banks with the central bank. Overall, market liquidity recorded a surplus of 184.26 billion LKR, up from 155.98 billion LKR in the previous week.
And with that, we wrap up First at 9 for tonight. Thank you for joining. Have a great night.